We were talking about President Trump's first 100 days. Just curious, what's your assessment about how it's going?
Horrible. I mean, the ratings are showing. I mean,
yeah.
I think Gout has a higher approval rating.
Trump struts through the political stage like a man who thinks turning a Sharpie into an official government tool is the pinnacle of leadership. Wanda Sykes wastes no time cutting through the fog of his chaos, and it's almost too easy. She looks at his presidency like a bad sitcom reboot that somehow got renewed for too many seasons. Each episode promises drama, but all it delivers is a bloated ego fumbling through teleprompters like they're written in hieroglyphics.
Hey everybody, so I'm in a full face of makeup because I was supposed to go over and have a chat with my friend Jimmy Kimmel on his show. But as you have heard by now, the Jimmy Kimmel show has been pulled indefinitely, abruptly, because of complaints from the Trump.
Trump talks about infrastructure like it's a fairy tale told to children before bedtime. Bridges crumble, roads crack, and he waves his hands around as if sheer willpower can patch potholes. Wanda doesn't even have to dig deep. His grand plans sound less like policy and more like a middle schooler promising to build a treehouse, but forgetting the wood, nails, and any sense of balance. When it comes to the economy, he brags like a man who thinks maxing out credit cards counts as financial genius.
What do you think? Like he could do to maybe make things better?
Resign?
Yeah.
At least he was a little smarter this time, just a little, because the first term he surrounded himself by.
Wanda skewers that smug confidence by pointing out how his idea of growth is basically putting glitter on a foreclosure sign. He treats debt like an accessory, flaunting it as if owing billions were a lifestyle goal. It's the type of financial logic that makes even Monopoly players shake their heads.
Going after transgender, especially transgender kids, because here's the thing. You're supposed to be trying to fix the problems of America, right? So you target a community that's less than 1% of the population. How about focus on climate change that affects everybody instead of sex?
On foreign policy, Trump lumbers around international summits like a wedding guest who wasn't invited but insists on giving a toast. Wanda calls him out for confusing diplomacy with a pep rally. Instead of nuanced strategy, he brings the subtlety of a foghorn blaring in a library. Leaders across the globe scratch their heads while he's busy trying to turn negotiations into a reality show reunion episode.
Jimmy, I'm a black woman and a lesbian. How the hell you think I'm doing?
I think they call that 0 for 3.
Yeah,
yes,
right, exactly.
What's your opinion of why it went this way? Why Americans voted the way we did?
Sometimes America is just gonna America, you know? I mean, there's so many reasons why you could say, it happened, but I think, a lot of us aren't totally shocked. You get your hopes up and you think
His obsession with loyalty is another easy target. He hires people like a kid picking dodgeball teams, then fires them faster than anyone can remember their names. Wanda highlights the revolving door of his administration like it's a badly run fast food joint where everyone quits mid-shift. The turnover rate is so high, it could qualify as a carnival ride.
So let's see. He didn't end the Ukraine war or solve Gaza within his first week, but he did end freedom of speech within his first year. Hey, for those of you who pray, now's the time to do it. Love you, Jimmy.
His rallies become comedy gold without him even realizing it. Packed stadiums, endless rambling, and self-congratulations delivered with the enthusiasm of a man who thinks standing ovations should be included in the Constitution. Wanda points out that his speeches sound like refrigerator magnets thrown onto a metal wall and read aloud. Coherent sentences are rare treasures, buried beneath endless tangents and self-praise. When it comes to women, Wanda doesn't let up for a second. Trump parades his supposed admiration as though plastering beauty contests across his resume makes him a feminist. Every poll, every crowd size, every television rating, he clings to them like a toddler counting marbles. Wanda turns this desperation into a roast so sharp, it feels surgical. His obsession with numbers becomes the punchline. painting him as a man who would measure his presidency in Instagram likes if he could.
It's embarrassing. Actually, the whole administration is just embarrassing, incompetent, corrupt. I haven't said white people, y'all really should be embarrassed by this. You really should be. Y'all really need to do something, seriously. Because this is embarrassing. See, and I know you say, well, Wanda, why is it white? Because we tried to tell y'all. We tried to tell you.
The pandemic response becomes a glaring chapter in his comedy of errors. Trump treated science like an optional elective and reality like a personal attack. Wanda draws laughter by comparing his press briefings to late-night infomercials, where snake oil gets pitched with patriotic music blaring in the background. His refusal to take responsibility becomes a running gag, making him look less like a leader and more like the guy who shows up late to group projects but still demands an A. On climate change, he treats rising seas like an inconvenient rumor. Wanda lampoons the way he dismisses scientific consensus as though polar ice caps are merely gossip from jealous glaciers. His solution to environmental disaster is essentially plugging leaks with duct tape and hoping the problem goes away during the next news cycle. His legacy on climate reads like a manual for how not to save the planet. His relationship with the press is another fountain of material. He attacks reporters with the subtlety of a man swatting flies, forgetting that their job is literally to shine a light on his blunders. Wanda leans into this hypocrisy, joking that Trump treats journalists like they're paparazzi chasing a celebrity, when in reality, they're just cataloging the endless circus of his presidency.
On a more positive note, are you enjoying the Trump trial?
I am enjoying the Trump trial. I really am. I know they say he's passing gas and everything. So I like that I'm watching it from home.
Yeah.
I don't think I want to be in that room.
His love of social media is too rich to ignore. Trump wields Twitter like a flamethrower in a fireworks factory, blasting out rants with all the grace of a man typing with oven mitts. Wanda makes it clear that no statesman in history has ever been so obsessed with posting. His tweets read less like official statements and more like the diary entries of a teenager grounded on a Saturday night. On healthcare, his promises unravel faster than a cheap sweater. Wanda mocks his so-called plan that never seems to materialize, existing only in the realm of vague promises. He dangles the idea of better coverage the same way con artists promise beachfront property in the desert. Each promise comes with the substance of cotton candy, fluffy, colorful, but dissolving instantly when tested. His approach to immigration is another glaring target. Wanda takes aim at the endless red ties that hang so long they look like escape ropes. His suits appear oversized like he borrowed them from a department store mannequin. The hair, of course, remains the crown jewel of ridicule, an architectural feat that defies wind, rain, and reason.
Right.
Some of them been coming to my show, and again, I'm like, why are y'all here? Don't you know me by now?
They get upset, they come to the show.
Yeah, they come to the show, and then as soon as I say one thing about Trump, I hear, and they actually make that noise, and they get up, and it's like, hum, 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 hum. Like, what the hell are you doing here?
Yeah, well, they're not doing their research, that's for sure.
I know. But
Do you feel like Trump is finally starting to age when you look at him?
No, but we are. I mean, he still looks the same. I think he's getting younger. I don't know if he's getting like virgin.
When scandals pile up, Trump reacts like a man convinced the world is out to sabotage his greatness. Wanda highlights the absurdity of a leader who blames everyone else, courts, investigators, rivals, while refusing to admit the common denominator in every mess is himself. He treats accountability like a foreign language he refuses to learn. Even in moments that should demand gravity, Trump stumbles into buffoonery. Memorials, disasters, crises, he transforms them into awkward performances, unable to grasp the solemnity required. Wanda cracks open these contradictions, pointing out how his business empire looks more like a stack of smoke and mirrors than the empire he brags about. On education, his priorities resemble a budget drawn up by someone who thought school lunches were socialist plots. Wanda hammers his disregard for teachers, students, and basic funding, treating public education like an afterthought while funneling attention toward private ventures that benefit the elite. He envisions classrooms as profit centers rather than places where kids actually learn.
But the thing is, he's old. So that's what happens when you're old. You fall asleep and you toot a little bit.
Yeah, I do it.
You know,
it's funny because most people, you just go, all right, well, he's an older guy, he's sitting there, he's, whatever. But in this guy, you know that if Joe Biden did something like that,
oh my God,
he'd have a blimp with Joe Biden farted on it, flying over the courtroom.
Oh yeah, they would pump sound in. They would like put a mic right by his butt. They would mic his seed. They would, oh my God.
They'd have him blasting "Hail to the Chief" out of his,
The international image of America under Trump is another field ripe for roasting. Wanda paints a picture of foreign leaders watching his antics like spectators at a circus, shaking their heads while he plays ringmaster. His blunders become viral moments worldwide, turning the United States into the global punchline rather than the respected powerhouse it once was. Even his interactions with allies turn awkward. Wanda skewers his obsession with stoking division as though every issue can be boiled down into a carnival of outrage. He thrives on chaos because it distracts from the lack of actual achievements. His presidency is less about solutions and more about creating a constant stream of headlines. The judiciary becomes another playground for his chaos. Wanda highlights how he brags about appointing judges as though they're trophies, not guardians of the law. His approach to justice is transactional, reducing the courts to chess pieces in his endless game of self-preservation.
Wanda, will you watch tomorrow? Are you interested in this? Because I know.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, you will. Okay,
absolutely.
good.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, I will be watching tomorrow. I so wanted him to show up. Please.
He might.
Oh,
He might. After what happened today,
Testify.
he may appoint himself his own attorney. I would not be surprised if he comes out in his golf shorts or something like that tomorrow.
I just need to get eyes on him. I just want to know what he's up to.
I do too, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm worried. He's been too quiet,
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, like, is he somewhere like having like plastic surgery? Like getting his face redone, like trying.
When it comes to race relations, Trump stumbles into controversy like it's his default mode. Wanda takes aim at his inability to show genuine empathy, replacing it with tone-deaf statements and hollow gestures. His legacy in this area reads more like a manual for inflaming tensions than resolving them. Even his idea of patriotism gets shredded. The endless lawsuits that follow him are comedy material in themselves. Wanda compares him to a man starring in a courtroom reality show with more spin-offs than anyone asked for. Each case reveals another layer of recklessness, painting the picture of a leader who treats legality as optional. Every press conference becomes unintentional comedy. He stumbles over words, repeats himself endlessly, and lashes out at the most irrelevant targets. Wanda emphasizes how these spectacles resemble amateur improv nights, with Trump winging it and the audience cringing in secondhand embarrassment.
Here's another thing that's not normal. Presidents, they've all aged while in office, right? They age while in office. President Obama went totally gray. His face started drooping, got all droopy in the face. One time I was like, is that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? George W. Bush, he shrunk 4 inches. At one point, he was looking like Gollum from the Lord of the Rings. Bill Clinton, he grew that bulb on the tip of his nose. What the was that? Bill Clinton looked like the man on the operation board. But not Trump. Nope. He's on executive time. Trump hasn't aged, but we have.
Even the way he handles veterans becomes another glaring weak spot. He struts around with slogans about honoring service, while his actual record looks like fine print on a shady contract. Benefits get stalled, programs lack proper funding, and promises to military families sound grand until reality reduces them to empty applause lines. Wanda calls out the hypocrisy of using veterans as stage props while failing to deliver on the most basic support they deserve. His constant need to dominate headlines also becomes an endless gag. Trump thrives on chaos so much that news outlets can barely keep up with the volume of blunders. Wanda jokes that his presidency is like a fire hydrant of scandal, blasting nonstop until everyone's too soaked in nonsense to keep track. Every day feels like a fresh episode in a reality show where absurdity is the only guarantee. His handling of disasters adds another layer of ridicule. Natural catastrophes become photo opportunities rather than moments of true leadership. He shows up, waves, and brags, while victims are left wondering if help will actually arrive. Wanda mocks the self-centered theatrics, pointing out that disaster zones aren't campaign rallies, no matter how much he wants the spotlight to follow him through rubble and ruin. The pardon spree turns into yet another carnival of absurdity. His vision of modernization feels like an awkward relic, more nostalgic than forward-looking. And so, Wanda Sykes tears through Trump's presidency with relentless precision, leaving behind a landscape of shattered ego, exposed hypocrisy, and endless laughter at a man who believed power meant never being the joke, only to discover he's the biggest one of all.